Hello everyone, today we are going to be reading And Tango Makes Three. This book is by Justin Richardson and Peter Parnell. Have we maybe heard of these penguins before? I had before I picked up this book. I really like these guys. I've seen their pictures. Who do we think this guy is? Is he maybe the third? Let's find out. In the middle of New York City, there is a great big park called Central Park. Children love to play there. It has a toy boat pond where they can sail their boats. It has a carousel to ride in the summer and an ice rink to skate in the winter. Best of all, it has its very own zoo. Every day, families of all kinds go to visit the animals that live there. So there's some of the activities, and there's the entrance to the Central Park Zoo. But children and their parents aren't the only families in the zoo. The animals make families of their own. There are red panda bear families with mothers and fathers and furry red panda cubs. There are monkey dads and monkeys' moms raising noisy monkey babies. There are toad families and toucan families, and cotton-top tamarind families too. So there's some of the animals and their babies. There's the little illustrations. And in the penguin house, there are penguin families. Every year at the very same time, the girl penguins start noticing the boy penguins, and the boy penguins start noticing the girls. When the right girl and the right boy find each other, they become a couple. Here's all the penguins. Two penguins in the penguin house were a little bit different. One was named Roy, and the other one was named Silo. Roy and Silo were both boys, but they did everything together. They bowed to each other and walked together. They sang to each other and swam together. Wherever Roy went, Silo went too. So what do we think about that? Two boy penguins doing everything together. It sounds sweet to me. They didn't spend much time with the girl penguins, and the girl penguins didn't spend much time with them. Instead, Roy and Silo wound their necks around each other. Their keeper, Mr. Gramsay, noticed the two penguins and thought to himself, they must be in love. Roy and Silo watched how the other penguins made a home, so they built a nest of stones for themselves. Every night, Roy and Silo slept there together, just like the other penguin couples. What do we think? Do we think the penguins are also in love, like the keeper thought? And every morning, Roy and Silo woke up together. But one day, Roy and Silo saw that the other couples could do something they could not. The mama penguin would lay an egg. She and the papa penguin would take turns keeping the egg warm until finally it would hatch, and then there would be a baby penguin. How do you think that makes these penguins feel, that they can't have their own baby? Roy and Silo had no egg to sit on and keep warm. They had no baby chick to feed and cuddle and love. Their nest was nice, but it was a little empty. One day, Roy found something that looked like what the other penguins were hatching, and he brought it to their nest. It was only a rock, but Silo carefully sat on it. And sat? How does that make you feel? That he brought something that he thought was an egg, but it wasn't. And they're still trying to hatch it. Makes me a bit sad. And sat. When Silo got sleepy, he slept, and when Silo was done sleeping and sitting, he swam and Roy sat. Day after day, Silo and Roy sat on the rock, but nothing happened. Then, Mr. Gramsay got an idea. He found an egg that needed to be cared for, and he brought it to Roy and Silo's nest. What do we think Roy and Silo are going to think about that? Roy and Silo knew just what to do. They moved the egg to the center of their nest. Every day they turned it so each side stayed warm. Some days Roy sat when Silo went for food. Other days it was Silo's turn to take care of the egg. They sat in the morning, and they sat at night. They sat through lunchtime and swim time and supper. They sat at the beginning of the month, and they sat at the end of the month. And they sat all the days in between. Until one day they heard a sound coming from inside their egg. Peep, 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 it said. Roy and Silo called back. Squawk, squawk, peep, peep, answered the egg. Suddenly a tiny hole appeared in the egg shell. And then, here is the egg peeping at them. And here is the egg hatching. How do you think the penguins feel now? Maybe a little bit excited to see their baby. Crack! Out came their very own baby. She had fuzzy white feathers and a funny black beak. Now Roy and Silo were fathers. We'll call her Tango, Mr. Gramsley decided, because it takes two to make a tango. Roy and Silo taught Tango how to sing for them when she was hungry. They fed her food from their beaks. They snuggled her in their nest at night. Tango was the very first penguin in the zoo to have two daddies. There's Tango hatching from her egg. There's Tango with her dads. Soon, Tango grew strong enough to leave the nest. Roy and Silo took her for her friend, like all the other penguin families. And all the children who came to the zoo could see Tango and her two fathers playing in the penguin house with the other penguins. Hooray, Roy! Hooray, Silo! Welcome, Tango! They cheered. There's the family swimming. And there's all the people coming to see them. At night, the three penguins returned to their nest. There they snuggled together. And like all of the penguins in the penguin house, and all the other animals in the zoo, and all the families in the big city around them, they went to sleep. There they are snuggling together. And that is the end of that book. I think it's a very, very sweet book. And here's some of the back cover illustrations. You know, some people weren't happy that the zookeeper gave them an egg because they didn't like that baby penguin would have two dads instead of a dad and a mom. What do we think about that? You think that's very nice of people to be mean to those penguins because they wanted a baby and they were two boys? I really hope you liked that story. I followed the story of Tango and Silo on the internet before this was a book, so I was very happy to find this. What a great read. Have a good rest of your day.